I never thought I'd hear from Rachel again. After everything she put me through, constant lies, manipulation, and turning my friends against me, I did what I should have done months ago. I cut her off, blocked her number, deleted her from every app. I thought it was over. I thought I was free. But I was wrong. It all started a few nights ago. I was sitting in my room, finally feeling like things were back to normal. It was late, close to midnight, when my phone buzzed. The screen lit up with an unknown number. Normally, I'd ignore it, but something made me check. I wish I hadn't. "I'm not done with you yet." My stomach dropped. I hadn't seen that number in weeks, but I recognized it immediately. Rachel. My mind raced. How was this possible? I'd blocked her on everything. Before I could even process what was happening, another message came through. This time, it wasn't words. It was a picture of me, sitting in my room, taken from outside my window. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. My blinds were drawn, the windows closed. There was no way she could have seen me. My heart pounded in my chest as I rushed to the window and yanked the blinds open. Nothing. The street was empty, just the usual glow from the streetlights. I stood there for a moment, scanning the shadows, trying to make sense of it all. My mind was playing tricks on me. It had to be. I sat back down, trying to brush it off. Maybe it was an old picture she'd taken before. Maybe she was just messing with me. That's what Rachel did. She played games, loved messing with my head. Then, my phone buzzed again. "Don't ignore me." Chills ran down my spine. This time, I didn't hesitate. I dialed the number, my hand shaking as I held the phone to my ear. It rang once, twice. Then, I heard it, breathing. Heavy, shallow breathing. I froze, unable to speak. Then a voice, low, barely more than a whisper, crept through the speaker. "I see you." I hung up, heart racing, and threw my phone across the room like it was cursed. I paced back and forth, trying to think. I couldn't just sit here. I had to do something. I had to get out of the house. But where would I go? And what if she was out there waiting for me? Suddenly, the lights flickered, casting shadows that stretched across the walls. I turned toward the window again. That's when I saw her. Rachel. She was standing in the middle of the street, just under the streetlight. Her hair was disheveled, her eyes dark and hollow. She looked wrong, like something was off. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Before I could react, she slowly raised her hand and pointed directly at me. My legs felt like they were glued to the floor. My chest tightened, and my pulse pounded in my ears. Then, as quickly as she appeared, she was gone. Just vanished into the shadows. I blinked, trying to understand what I'd just seen. Was she really there? Or was this some sick joke she was playing on me? I had to get out of the house. I grabbed my keys, bolted for the door, and stepped outside, my eyes scanning the street for any sign of her. The air was thick with silence, not a single sound, except for my own ragged breathing. The streetlight flickered above me, casting eerie shadows on the pavement. My car was parked just a few feet away, but it felt like miles. As I reached for the car door, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. Scratched into the driver's side window, in jagged letters, were the words, "I'm inside." I stumbled back, heart slamming against my chest. I fumbled for my phone, dialing 911 as I backed away from the car, my eyes darting around, expecting her to jump out at any second. But the line didn't connect. The screen showed no signal. And then, I heard it. Footsteps. Soft, deliberate footsteps coming from behind me. I turned around slowly, dread creeping up my spine. Standing just a few feet away was Rachel, but something was wrong. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, her eyes wide and unblinking, fixed on me with a terrifying intensity. "Why are you doing this?" I finally managed to choke out. She didn't answer. She just stared at me, her lips curving into a twisted smile. I backed away, my mind racing for some kind of escape. I could feel the weight of her gaze pressing down on me, suffocating me. I turned and ran toward the front door, desperate to get back inside. But before I could reach it, she spoke. "You can't escape me." Her voice was cold, flat, like it was coming from everywhere at once. I glanced over my shoulder, but she wasn't there anymore. I slammed the door shut behind me, locking it, my hands trembling. For a moment, there was silence. I leaned against the door, trying to catch my breath, trying to make sense of what had just happened. But then, I heard it. A knock. Soft at first, then louder, coming from inside the house. I turned slowly, my blood turning to ice. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out with shaking hands and stared at the screen. Another message. "I told you, I'm not done with you yet." The knock grew louder, more insistent. I could feel it vibrating through the walls, through my chest, my vision blurred, my body frozen in place. And then, from the darkness, I saw her. Standing at the end of the hallway, her eyes locked on mine. And I knew. There was no escape. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Do you think Rachel is really gone? Comment below with your theories, and don't forget to like and follow for more chilling stories.